Okay, guys, so this topic today, can I just tell you guys, is I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous to talk about because
or diving deep into, because like everything you're doing is for a reason and for a purpose.
It's like the first time. It's so silly because it's the first time we think that we finally like gave up control of like, oh, what's he gonna say? I don't know.
Yeah, I've been so distracted because, y'all, the enemy is real.
Hey guys, welcome to Coffee, Chaos, and Christ.
Grab your coffee and take a deep breath and join us as we talk through the chaos of daily life and how Christ leads us through it all.
So whether you're in the car, at home, wherever you are, we're so glad you're here.
On today's episode, Jordan and I are going to jump into it, and we're going to talk about God's calling for your life. Let's dive in. Sorry for that bar.
Okay.
Well, now, let me ask you first.
Okay.
What type of coffee you're drinking this morning?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, tell us, Jordan.
Okay, so I've got my normal homemade stuff, the cheap stuff.
Oh, yeah. Cheap.
Definitely. Iced coffee, half and half. Layered creamer, which I love. Monk fruit. The same.
And it's iced.
And it's iced. With the coffee ice cubes. So your drink
Do you put cinnamon on top, too?
I do. I mix in cinnamon with my half and half.
Ah.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Yum. That tastes amazing.
Yeah,
so what would you say it would taste like? Like, what flavor is the lard or layered?
I get the cinnamon.
Oh, okay.
So it leans in the cinnamon direction.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess it would be cinnamon. Before I did this, I did the Starbucks cinnamon dolce creamer.
Oh, yes.
And that's kind of like what got me on the cinnamon half and half kind of flavoring. Yeah. And then layered was more of a sweetener than just half and half. So that's why I added in my little concoction.
Yeah, it's yummy.
But normally, if I'm out anywhere, it's normally a latte of some sort with half of the pumps of whatever they put in there.
Yes. Because it's too sweet.
Too sweet.
Mm-hmm.
What are you drinking this morning?
Well, this morning I am drinking, first of all, we do need to give a shout out to our greens. We drink our greens every morning.
Yes, we do.
On top of our coffee as well. But I am drinking once again.
Wait. No. Where did you get your greens from?
Okay.
Which green drink do you have?
So my green drink it's called Activated You. And I think it's the one that I'm drinking is the citrus flavor. And I just started it about 3 months ago. Maybe. It's almost probably about 3 months. But I love it. You recommended it to me.
I did.
I don't remember. What's that lady's name? Who does the advertising for?
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Gosh, she's beautiful.
She is. She's in, like, Mission Impossible and things like that.
Yeah, like she's hardcore. She's Asian mix looking.
Yeah.
Anyway, so.
What's her name?
Yeah, what is her name? Got it from her and her company.
And side note, guys, the reason I started taking it is because after I'd had kids, it was really hard for me to get really clear bowel movements. Mm-hmm. And it changed the game, man.
Yeah.
I got so regular, and it was really nice, and it was never hard. I was never constipated, and so that's why I kept drinking it. And it keeps you from getting bloated after you eat. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, it's a game changer for this mom.
And they were like, they tell you to drink it every morning before you do anything, like before you eat, before you put anything
it's called Morning Complete from Activated.
Oh, yeah, Morning Complete. That's right. But the company's Activated You. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Morning Complete.
They have a bunch of other things that they sell. So it's like AG1, but it's not.
Yeah, and it comes in a container that will last you 30 days. 1 scoop a day.
No one's paying us to say this.
No, this is not sponsored. This is not an advertisement. This is just us loving our greens. Yeah. Because that's a drink that we drink every morning before actually we start our coffee. But
ooh. Okay, so it's got in here. It's a green superfood, metabolic blend, liver support, prebiotic blend.
Ooh, they're are prebiotics.
Adaptation. What do you say that? Adaptation?
Yeah. Oh, no.
Adaptogen.
Yeah.
Adaptogen blend. Antioxidant. Sugar support blend. The sugar balancing support blend combines 2 powerful natural ingredients, pine bark and extract and fennel seeds. So I don't know what that means.
What does that mean?
I have no clue, but it's got to be good for us, right?
I guess.
And then there's a probiotic blend.
Yeah. Oh, and probiotic. Ooh, okay, good. That makes me feel better. Because I was thinking about getting a prebiotic and probiotic, like, supplement, you know?
Oh, yeah, no. These people got you covered.
That's right.
Yeah, I would suggest it to every single human I know. And the tastes are not that bad. I got the citrus one like Carolyn used to, but now I get the apple because I didn't like it. Got too tart for me. So, so yeah, try it. You should try it, guys.
Yeah, y'all should try it.
You should try it.
Jordy will link it down below.
Yes, I will link that down below.
Yeah, I need to buy more actually. On our last container.
Really?
Yeah. But that is a beverage.
Pause. And you can get it on Amazon, which is also what I love. Because if you buy it from Activated You, it takes like a week and a half to get to you. But if you get it on Amazon, obviously 2 days.
And it's about the same price.
It's the same.
It's not.
It's the exact same. Yeah.
Different.
So, hashtag, I'll put the Amazon link below.
Yes, put the Amazon link below. It's a great drink. It's a good way to start your morning. Is it working for me yet, or do I feel any different? I don't know, to be honest. I feel like you honestly have to give it at least 3 months.
Does Brad?
Oh, yeah. Brad loves it.
Really? Tell me why.
I don't know. Like, I think he just feels, I think it's the same for you. Like, his bowel movements and stuff have been way better and more consistent and just like, because that's been a big issue for him. So I don't know, but he loves it.
Good.
Yeah. So we're gonna continue.
Anyways, total sidetrack on green drinks.
On green drinks, but it is one of the beverages we drink. Both Jordy and I drink every morning. So, but for coffee, once again, I am going to go to. Well, I don't have it right now. I know did we talk about this last time? I just don't drink coffee unless I got to have something to eat.
You're lying.
No, but we don't need to. Why do I need to?
That's true. You're right. Yeah.
I mean,
what you're going to drink. What are you going to drink for coffee today?
Yeah. My coffee beverage of choice today is going to be from Recess. And as always, and they are in Black Mountain, North Carolina. So come check them out. They're amazing. I think they're about to hit their 1 year anniversary.
Are they really?
Yeah, they've been open almost a year. Or they've already hit it, but like within the last week or so.
That's wild.
But they just came out with this new tumbler, and like their logo and everything's so cute. Like if you remember back in the day, the reason why they did it was because of Recess. Like when we were kids, we loved the owners loved Recess, and so their little logo is like a little kid sitting on one of those like seesaw horses that you like rode that were at the playground. Anyway, so I say that to say they just came out with a new tumbler that has like a design on it from like the 1990s, like from when we grew up.
Oh, that's cool.
And I'm really excited about it. But so that's one reason why I'm going, because I love to get all their merch. And then their coffee's amazing, and I'm going to go get, and their pastries are too. I can't remember what coffee I get from them, but I always try one of their specials. So they have like a new special every month. And right now it's something to do. There's like little rose petals that they put in it, like edible. Yeah, it's
Bougie.
fancy.
Bougie.
But it's a latte. So, and I've been getting it iced too, surprisingly. Wow. I know, versus hot. So I don't know. But I think I might get that today from there. But I'm going there to go get it. But y'all, I do have a question. Speaking about coffee, I've been thinking about. So I make my coffee at home, but I only use drip coffee, right? Doesn't taste anything like anything I get from any of the coffee stores. Like, I can never get it to taste anything like a latte that I get from the coffee stores. And I do the half and half or the milk or whatever. But I feel like what they do at the coffee stores, is the actual espresso shots that they put into your into your drink. That's the coffee versus a drip. And I feel like that changes the taste.
Well, and they are putting syrups in there. There's no way around that.
Well, yeah, but I mean, even if I've tried the syrups. I've gone and gotten the syrups from the store just to and I've tried it and I'm like, this still tastes like nothing.
You should ask Mark.
Well, I'm looking into getting one of those fancy espresso machines.
Are you really?
Yes. Only because, shout out to my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law, Brian and Danielle. They have one of the fancy ones at their house. He made me a latte when we were over there for his birthday. And
did he really?
In Jordan. Oh, it was life-changing.
Did he put syrup in it?
No, he put milk he put milk and just organic maple syrup and blended that together. And that was what was on top. And it was the espresso shot. And I was like, this is the closest thing
that you could get
that I could get to a any coffee store, any coffee store, the nice coffee stores, Starbucks, the chains, whatever. And that's all he did was an espresso shot and then the milk, froth the milk and the maple syrup. And, I mean, it's a lot of money up front on the machine.
Yeah, but you would save so much money.
But that's what I'm saying. But
drinks are not even $5. They're not even $5 for a tall anymore.
And I could, I'm not kidding.
They're
could
expensive.
Do that. I would do that at home all day.
Well, okay.
So anyway, drop y'all's in the comments. Drop your favorite. If you guys have espresso machines out there, your favorite brand. The brand that I've been looking at, obviously, is the expensive one. The Breville, I don't know.
Okay. How expensive is it?
It is, if I get the cheaper version of it, it's like $600.
Okay, so if you bought a coffee every day out, just a tall,
which is what, $5, $6,
$2,190 for a year.
For a year?
For a year. So you're already going to be saving money.
Well, lots of money.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I don't.
Well, actually, that doesn't include the coffee.
Yeah.
The lattes, but that still, it's half.
Yeah.
Of what you would be spending.
And I mean, I don't drink coffee out every day, but still, it's but it would make me want to
make your coffee at home.
Yeah,
you wouldn't feel like you have to go out.
Yeah, because right now I'm like, oh great, I'm drinking this, but I don't like it. But then when Brian made it for me,
you liked it.
Oh, it was a game changer, and it wasn't any. You don't have to get special coffee or,
no,
whatever.
Yeah.
So anyway, if y'all have your favorite brand of espresso machines or ones that y'all have used that you're like, yeah, this is amazing. I don't have to get the expensive one, obviously. That's the one that he had and used, and I've only seen and heard good things about it. Yeah. So anyway, so that's my coffee, and that's my coffee little spiel.
Watch me get one after you get one.
Jordan, I'm not kidding. I've been sitting at home thinking about buying one, and I'm like, I'm gonna make Jordan one. I'm gonna make everybody one. I'm gonna have everybody just come to my house, and it's just gonna be, hey, y'all need some coffee this morning? I'll be your barista. Don't go to Starbucks. Don't go. And just
you
swing by.
$2.
Yeah, swing by. Drive through. You could drive up and I'll bring it out to you.
That's $3.
That's $3. Yeah,
you gotta put your shoes on.
That's right. Because I gotta put my shoes on and clothes on to get outside. But anyway, I'm not kidding. I've really thought about it because, I mean, we love going out, and we do go out at least once on the weekend. But my drip coffee is nothing compared to that. Nothing. Anyway.
Wow.
Yeah. So there you go. Might have to look into that.
Yeah. For real.
Seriously. I don't know. It's the I really think the espresso shots make a difference.
Well, yeah, and the way you froth your milk totally is different too.
Yes.
Like that really makes a difference.
That does. Which I didn't realize that it does, but it does.
Oh, it does. You can totally tell the difference. I think that's why I enjoy my cold brew at home.
Yeah.
Because it's the closest I can get. Yes. If I do hot, it's really hard for me to get close.
It's hard, So, anyway. Yeah.
Wow, we got a lot of coffee this morning.
I know, sorry. Sidetracked. And about our green drink. That's our episode, guys, for today. It's about drinks.
Okay, guys. So this topic today, can I just tell you guys, is I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous to talk about because it's for at least me and Carolyn, it's very convicting.
Yeah.
And we have no clue where you are in your lives. Okay, we have no clue what your body's going through. We have no clue what your family's going through. We have no clue how many kids you have. Are you homeschooling? Are you not homeschooling?
Yeah.
Do you have a full-time job? We have no clue where you guys are from, okay? So when we say this, don't apply this to you as much.
Well, I mean, yeah.
This is definitely something that me and Carolyn are struggling with.
Yeah.
So this is not a, hey, you should be doing this too. This is just the place that me and Carolyn are at in our lives.
Yeah.
And the Lord is challenging us. So when we say this is from the perspective of just us. We are totally not pros. Thank God, because the Lord says, I will make you strong in your weaknesses.
Yeah.
So this is all of our weaknesses displayed on a table for you guys. So
that we literally have been dealing with, constantly been
for a while now.
Dealing with for a while now. But
would you say like 6 months, a year?
God, probably
a year.
Yeah. And I mean, and it's been, but we've been talking about it a lot more recently, like in the last week or so.
Yeah.
It's been getting brought up more and more. And so we just felt like we wanted to share with y'all what kind of, just like this podcast, and we talk about things that we're dealing with and what we want, we just feel like we want to share with y'all. So
to back up a little bit, we are reading in Revelation right now in our Bible Study Fellowship, our BSF program. It's been incredible. I could always suggest this to you guys. Bible Study Fellowship, I will put the link for that in the description below.
Yeah.
It is a Bible study held around the entire world in multiple countries. And they pick a book a year from the Bible. And you start in the fall and you end in the spring, kind of like a kid's, like school, really. Kind of like school. Yeah. And you literally go verse by verse and study the Word of God. You study by the week, and then you come together. You have a small group time, and then you have a lecture time. And we are part of a program that has childcare available. And so they take our kids from us for an hour while we do all of this, and they give them a Bible study lesson. And
from the exact same thing we're going through.
Yeah, exact same thing. Yeah. Watered down, obviously. Yeah. But it's really incredible. And we're in Revelation right now. And, it makes you think about the end times. It makes you, obviously. But all the figures, all of the images, everything that's happening is brought to life basically of, we don't battle against flesh and blood. We battle against the powers and the principalities. And I've been going down this road of, even just after doing a couple of these podcasts, of, okay, money does not matter.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the Lord is not going to come and say, well, what does your budget look like? Now, does it help you have a more fulfilling life if you have discipline in this area? Yes. The cleaning thing. He is not going to come to my door and go, let me make sure you got your laundry done.
Yeah.
Okay? So I'm going, okay, Lord, then what matters in this life that I am doing right now?
Yeah.
I do not want to build up sandcastles. I do not want my goal to have a perfect house and all my bills paid and extra to do whatever I want. Like, what? That's not a purpose. Okay, add my kids into that. I want my children to grow up to be godly children. Okay, right? All right. That is part of my purpose.
Yeah, I was like, it's not, maybe it's a purpose, but it's not the fulfilling ultimate purpose.
Oh, yeah, because it's like, it's part of my mission right now, because one day they will be 18, and my job with them, technically, obviously you'll never stop being a mom, but your job is complete. And what your child decides to do at 18, that is between them and Jesus. It's not between the three of you anymore.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, that is important. That is the number one thing, right? Relationships that I have around me. And it's like, okay, then what? If the rest of the things that are in this world that are so fleeting, what is my purpose here? And the Lord brought to memory for me Gladys Aylward. And Gladys Aylward was an English woman who had a complete heart for China and the people of China. And I was like, hey, I remember watching the end of Six Happiness when I was a kid. Mom, do you remember that? And I watched the movie, and then I was like, I'm going to read her book. And everyone kept telling her, yeah, you can't do this. You're not qualified. And she just decided to save up money, buy a ticket, and she went by herself, like when she was like in her 20s, to China to preach the word of God. And she ran an inn. She would adopt children that were left on the side of the road. And just craziest story. If you guys ever look into Gladys Aylward, an incredible woman of God. She never got married, but she had a mission. And I started going, Lord, her mission was so cool.
Right.
Like, what an adventurous life this woman had. There was no, she did not lead a boring life. And I was like, Lord, I don't want to care about money. I don't want to care about these little things when I could be focusing on things that are so much more important, especially when we were talking about Revelations. It's like, time is short. And you always go, being a missionary is so cool. And you're like, yeah, but I can't do that now. I got kids.
Yeah. Or you think about, being missionary, you have to be overseas and go helping in a third world country.
Yeah.
Or,
people go, I'm not judging anyone for doing this, but like you go on a 2-week mission trip.
Yeah.
And you build something or you take care of orphans for 2 weeks.
Right.
Well, whatever.
Which is all great. That's still
it's great stuff.
Not.
But I don't want my life to be hawked up to 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Or let's just say best 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. I don't want that to be my life of waiting for a moment to serve.
Yeah.
When a group of Christians are going somewhere. I don't want that to be my life.
Or that you're just marking it off a list. Or checking it off. Oh, well, I went for 2 weeks to wherever, I served here for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Mark that off.
The Lord has a purpose, going back to our topic. God has a calling for your life.
Yes, calling.
And he has a specific purpose for you. And I am not saying it's one thing.
Right.
I'm saying, like, you could be a chiropractor. That is your job, but that is not your purpose. Your purpose could be ministering to the people in your community, in your town.
Through your job.
Yeah. The lady that you work with who is completely annoying and irritates everyone, but you come to find out she lost her husband and her children hate her.
Yeah.
Those are the people that you could be loving on in the middle of your life. That, I think, is more our purpose than any job we ever have, including being a missionary.
Yeah.
I say that tongue in cheek, but I'm saying wherever you are, doesn't matter where you are, you are a follower of Christ and you represent him.
Yes.
And if you're representing him, what are you doing? And for me, I got sick last week and I was watching a documentary on the baby boxes. Anyways, it's this thing where this Korean Korean pastor had a box. I'll link this in the description below too. It was a box. It was like a fish box, and he heard something crying, and there was a baby in it, and he picked it up, and he decided to add to his church a baby box drop. Am I saying that? Drop box. All right. Anyways, so, and it had a monitor on it. It was heated, and as soon as you closed it up with a baby in it, it would ding a bell in the church, and they would run out and get the baby. Oh. And so instead of children dying on the side of the street or, dying after birth, these babies were taken care of. Powerful stuff. Well, through the documentary, there was this one teenage girl, this 16-year-old girl who had a baby. And she wanted to keep the baby. She came back to the church and said, I want to keep my baby. And she said, but I have no one to watch it while I work. And she's like, I'm dropping out of school and I'm going to work. And there was no one to watch the baby. And so the baby finally, they kept waiting for her to come back and she never came back. And because the grandmother or family wouldn't help with the baby while she worked to keep the baby. And I immediately, like, my heart was so moved, and I was like, Lord, like, I want to be doing something like this. Yeah. I was like, in my head, I was going, I want to go to Korea and help.
Right.
At this spot. Mm-hmm. And then I said, Lord, why does it have to be there? Someone's already filled that gap. There is so much work here. And so I told the Lord, I said, Lord, this is the type of work I want to do. I didn't know what I was saying when I said that.
Right.
I said, I want to be of service.
Yeah.
These places that are dark for people who don't know where to turn, I want to be a place for them. And immediately the Lord recalled to my memory a text that I had gotten a week and a half ago, someone asking me to watch a 6-month-old. And they said, hey, in the text, they said, hey, do you want to babysit a 6-month-old? I have 2 boys. I'm a single mom. Immediately, my flesh, y'all, I'm not going to lie, said, yeah. I mean, back up. Immediately, I said, no, I don't want to do that.
I don't have time. I don't have I'm
not going to do that.
Yeah.
And the Lord recalled that to my memory after I had just confessed, Lord, I want to help.
Yeah.
And I called that girl back, and I said, yes. Does that person still need a babysitter? And they said, yes, she does. And a little bit of the story, it's a single mom with 5 kids, and she works at this place where she has to keep her baby. The kids have school during the week, and then she needs someone to watch them on the weekend so she can work. Mm-hmm. And so I immediately texted her and said, hey, how can I be of service to you?
Yeah.
And she's like, you want to do this? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, we can't pay you. And I was like, I'm not expecting you to pay me. Also, this is part of my story, just being a single mom. I know what it's like to feel guilty every time somebody watches your kid.
Yeah.
And for me, the Lord softened my heart, opened the door, and I was willing to walk through the door, and he offered me opportunities to serve and love on this other single mom. And I've done it in the past too. There was another mom, she was separated from her husband. She had 7 kids, really hard situation. And she needed someone to watch the kids while she went and did errands and things and picked up groceries. And so I did it that time too. But at that time I didn't know. I think I was more, my wound was so fresh during this. I think it was my retribution. maybe in bitterness of no one helps these moms. Why is no one helping these moms kind of thing?
Right.
And obviously she had other help, but there's these spaces, these sections of time that they need help in. And it might be once. It might be every week. It might be once a month, whatever. But there's these spaces and voids that need to be filled. Mm-hmm. So for me, it was helping this mom. And can I tell y'all, after the first time I watched her kids on a Saturday because she had to work, after I left them, I had so much joy, like true contentment, true joy. And I started sobbing in the car because I was like, oh my gosh, how many times do you and I sit and go, I'm so miserable, or I bought this shirt, but did it make me happy? Or, and I just feel so foolish because I was like, I have been chasing money and security in a house for so long.
Yeah.
When that's not what I was put here for.
Right.
So I tell you guys that story to tell you that this is where I'm coming from. This is like you don't have to have the time. Here's the problem though. Okay, so here's where we get into some grub. You're still a mom. Mm-hmm. So there's this really weird place of, your relationship with the Lord of, is it my job right now to just be my kid's mom?
Yeah.
And what does volunteering look like? And is volunteering even the right word?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is volunteering the right word, or is it like I don't want to say acts of service. I don't want to say
ministry.
Yeah, it's weird.
I don't know. Yeah, calling. I don't know
what it is.
What the wording is. Yeah.
There are so many. Another example. Me and Carolyn, someone started a book club. Mm-hmm. And they didn't have to.
No.
And there was just 12 girls. We were sitting there doing a book club.
Yeah.
And can I tell you, that time blessed me so much in the mom of like struggling to feel like a human being when you're in the middle of being a parent, kind of, like the toddlers, the poop, all of it, cleaning up all the messes, all the tears, all of the hugs, all the consoling. That was another moment for me of like, thank you for putting this together. That's another act.
Yeah.
That's an act of thinking. Wow. Could this be your purpose is not thinking about you?
About yourself? Weird. Weird.
But it's funny because then you go, maybe I've just been bitter this whole time.
Yeah.
With my kids. It's definitely been a stripping of my flesh.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you just get numb to it and so you're like, okay, what's the next thing?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, as a parent, as a mom, you're still exhausted at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So how are you going to add in service to the service you're already doing?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Right. Because motherhood is still is a purpose as well. Or I don't know if that's the word, but calling or because, you're trying to.
Especially this day and age.
Yeah. And because what you're trying to do, I guess, when you are helping others, or motherhood, or at your job, and but you're trying to share about Jesus, whether that's through actions, whether that's through words, or show Jesus. I don't even, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you're doing, because, like, when you do something, you're I don't know. Maybe I'm just like, maybe that's too transactional. You know what I'm saying? But like the reason why we're doing something also is because we want to glorify the God. We want to glorify the Lord, you know, right? Like, or we want to, I don't know, I guess, I don't know. I haven't really thought about it, you know, or diving deep into, because like everything you're doing is for a reason and for a purpose, right? And whether that's helping watch somebody's kids, whether that's, you know, being a mom, whether you're going out and helping in third world countries. There's a reason and a purpose, but I guess is the question why? Why are you doing it?
Yeah. Maybe.
You know, like, is that, you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, it's funny. It's like,
I mean, it's hard to explain because it's also like, well, the Lord told me to. You know, like it's out of obedience too. Well, this is what the Lord told me to do. This is where, but at the end of the day, who's it for? The Lord. Like, you know, it's not for ourselves. It's not even for pleasing ourselves. It's not even for like fulfilling happiness and joy, you know, like it can do that, but that's not why we're doing it, right?
Right. It's not like I will get joy on the other end of this.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm not going out searching and saying, hey, where can I find, I mean, I don't know. Does that make sense? Like, I don't even know. 'Cause like everything we're doing is for a purpose. Like, I don't want anybody, 'cause like, look, for me, I am still like, I'm not like, I haven't, I'm not physically doing something, right? Like, I don't feel, I haven't like, I'm not physically going out and watching people's kids, or I'm not.
But you are.
I mean, I am. Like, I do babysit, or I do help if somebody asks, or if they need it, but I'm not like.
You're not looking for it.
I'm not looking for that specific thing, or, you know, but to be honest, I haven't even really, like, these last couple of months, being in Revelation and what we're talking about at church and stuff too, of just being able to really, I've never thought about it this way. I don't know why, or I've never prayed about it this way, I guess. Is like, I've been starting to, and this, so I'll tie it all back, but I really have just been starting to ask for praying for the Lord, because I know that he's present now, but like praying for the Lord's presence and thinking about where am I experiencing his presence right now in everything that I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like, I've never thought about it that way, because like we had a leadership meeting the other day at church, and that was like one of the questions was, where are you experiencing the Lord right now? Have you thought about, like, and I was like,
that's deep.
Yeah. And so I was like, what do you mean? Like, I haven't, like, what do you mean experiencing the Lord, you know, like, and I would sit there and I'd think about all the things throughout my week, you know, like.
Did anybody talk? Did anybody say it out loud, or was it just a question to you?
It was a question. So we had to read this little excerpt from somebody, and we're doing, it's kind of like a Bible study through, we are starting at our church, and it's called Conversations. And it was like a little excerpt from that book, and then it has like questions to ask, or that are asked to you to answer after you kind of read and like sit, and so I was reading that, and then that was the question that was asked in the book, and then we got together and we kind of like discussed or brought up like, how did this all make you guys feel? And of course, I spoke up and was like, well, it was really convicting because I don't think I've ever sat there and thought about that. Of like, where is the Lord? You know, you see the good and like, oh yeah, the Lord blessed me with the money to pay for that because I didn't have the money, you know?
Yeah.
But in my everyday life, I'm not like every day, like like the big things, I'm like, yeah, that was the Lord. But in the small things, I'm like, am I experiencing him right now while I'm washing my dishes or you know? And I'm like, I don't know. So anyway, so it's been these last couple months with being in Revelation and talking about stuff at church and those questions, and because he is present now. Like I don't want it to be this like separate thing of he's in heaven and we're on earth and there's not the, you know, like he's here. Yeah. You know, like we don't have to wait to experience him, right?
Right.
So I say all that to say I've been asking and praying about this to the Lord of like, hey, Lord, can you like show me, you know, help me see where I'm at, where you are present, where you're, you know, and like, and even more of just asking the Lord for, Lord, what do you want me to, you know, do to like, where do you want me to serve? Where are these opportunities? Because I'm just going to confess, I don't want to ask for that because I don't know what the Lord's going to, I'm scared of what could possibly, you know, him be like, no, you're going to serve. This is what I want you to do. You know, whether that's today, whether that's for 5 weeks, whether that's for my whole life, you know, that I don't think I've really sat and really asked.
It's a really hard thing because you come through it and you go, oh, it's like the first time. It's so silly because it's the first time we think that we finally like gave up control of like, oh, what's he gonna say? I don't know.
Yeah. And I mean, and like, I don't know why I'm scared. Why should I be scared? If that's what he wants me to do, if that's his will, then I should be happy because I want to be doing his will. I want his purpose, you know? But my flesh and my selfishness is afraid. And that's where the enemy, you know, the enemy wants to attack you in that because he doesn't want you serving. He doesn't want you continuing to share.
He doesn't want your eyes to be opened up to the unseen world of like, no, if I just keep her distracted with the kids or money or
making her think, you know, what.
Could you really do it? Really? Yeah. You think you have something to offer?
Or it's like, oh no, this is, you know, you need to be doing motherhood right now. But is that really from, you know, like obviously that's, you know, it's also my job too.
Yeah.
But.
Oh, we're even using, I feel like.
Is that from the Lord also? You know, like it's might be this and this. Or
yeah, because it's not, I think I've been using the excuse of I'm a mom right now. Yes. So I keep saying when the boys move out of the house, then I'll do something.
Yes.
And I'm like, wait a second.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's not how the Lord works.
Right.
That's not who he is. That's not a do this, then that.
Then that, right, exactly.
That's not.
Right. And I mean, and even like, I guess what, like, the Lord has been working, and he's always working on me but like, it's been crazy how like we come and we get together and we do this and we have like our own, like it really makes us dive into the word. It makes us talk about Jesus and then being, you know, going to church and like a lot of things have been, the Lord has been revealing to me of just like, Carolyn, you need to have your eyes open to things.
That's so funny because when I've been praying lately, I've been like, I want to see the unseen world.
Yeah.
Is how I've been praying. Of like, and that's having your eyes open.
Yeah. It's like, have your eyes open, you know? Like, don't miss it. Don't miss what I have for you because you're so, you know, pray these things. Because, I mean, we've talked about it in all of our other episodes. And, like, we talk about it every day, even outside of when we do this. But, you know, praying before your budget, before you start. Like, what?
Yeah, we hadn't been doing that
ever. You know, praying before you clean. Like, things like that. Like, I'm like, I have never prayed and even thought, you know, like, you think, you know, you're like, oh, somebody says, hey, pray for me. And you're like, okay, yeah, I can pray for you. And you pray for them. And then that's it. You know, like, and then you're not praying. You're not experiencing his presence in a relationship with him in the other things, like cleaning or, you know. And so that's been revealed too, of just like, and so with this whole topic, it really, I don't know yet. Like, I just want to be completely honest. I don't know what the Lord's, but, like, I don't have anything like I'm doing like currently.
What? Yes.
You know, but it has helped me to just be like, you need to pray and ask about it.
Yeah.
You need to allow that to be open. You know, you need to be able, so that I can see wherever, whether that be I'm in the grocery store, whether that be I'm just on the phone with my, you know, with you, my best friend, or it doesn't matter. Like, I don't have to, you know, and I want y'all to know too, like, don't get caught up. It's got to be this big extravagant thing.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not.
It's like tiny things.
Yes.
Everyone around us, there is not one person you probably know in your life that isn't suffering right now with something.
Yeah.
And I say suffering. It could be loneliness.
Yeah.
It could be they're in a job they don't like. It could be they don't like their kids. It could be they don't like their mom. Could be they're fighting with their mom. The mom doesn't like them. You know, there are so many different ways that you can love on people.
Yes.
And it's always in the small things.
Yeah.
It's always in the small things.
Yeah, like I just got, so one of the sweet little girls at our church, she had a birthday the other day, and she just turned 14, I think, or whatever. And I was like, I want to get her something, you know. It didn't have to be anything, you know. It was her birthday, and I got her like a Starbucks gift card and got her a little card and wrote in it, and I gave it to her. And look, I've never given her a birthday gift before. You know, like, she is, I don't hang out with her all the time. She's not family, you know. And then I got a text from her mom and was like, that meant the world to her. And that, like, and she and the mom was like, she loves you and she's so glad that you're part of her life. And I'm not talking to her every day. I'm not speaking, you know, but I do. I love on her, whether that's like whatever.
It made an impact.
Yeah. And so, like, and so I say that is like, you don't have to have, because I feel like, for me, I'm like, I don't know the Bible off like the back of my hand. You know, like, I'm not calling out verses, you know. I'm and I just feel like through my actions and just love through that, versus just always saying, you know, speaking Bible verses and stuff. Like, that is important still too, and that is showing and serving and, you know, showing God who God is through those things too, just actions, or it doesn't have to be this big extravagant, hey, I'm going and preaching the gospel, you know, to you, you know. So anyway, so like,
and it's hard too, because, you know, this sounds so terrible, but we're tired.
Yeah. We're in the throes of motherhood and parent, you know, and like,
and then add on a spouse.
Yeah. Add on a spouse.
Not me, but Carolyn.
Add on your in-laws. Add on your parents, you know, like.
We've had 2 weeks back to back with 2 different themes in our Bible study fellowship for Revelations. Yeah. The last one we had was about distraction. And then the next one after that was suffering.
Yeah.
And so we're learning about distraction and what it looks like.
Yeah.
And I'm realizing that we're distracted a lot of the time.
Yes.
The enemy doesn't have to do a lot because we've created this world of
Yeah.
distraction.
Y'all, side note, Jordy will link this, but Amazon link. Go read Screwtape Letters by C.S. Lewis.
Yes.
I don't know if we've talked about it before, but like that's what came to mind when you were talking about enemy and distraction.
Yes.
That book will get you.
Yeah. C.S. Lewis wrote it, and he wrote it from the point of view of a demon.
Yes.
Who is responsible for one man. And he keeps sending things back and forth to his uncle demon saying, how do I keep him discouraged? How do I, and it's talking from the perspective of the enemy.
Yes.
And it's very powerful.
And it's so
Very
real
powerful.
and so relatable. And anytime that I read it, I was like, holy smokes.
I'm like, this is my life.
This is a distraction from from the enemy. Like,
Yeah.
but you never thought it was.
No, you just thought this was life.
Yes. Anyway, keep going. I'm sorry I interrupted.
No. And so we're going, okay, we're learning about distraction.
Mm-hmm.
We're always trying, we have created this culture of I just had an epiphany. We live in a world where how much can you get done in a short amount of time?
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
With all material things. Even your own knowledge of like, oh, I'm learning a language right now. Oh, I'm studying blah, blah, blah. I do the audio while I do my dishes, whatever. Okay. Yeah. We try to put in as much as possible. Yet, what are we doing in our walks with the Lord?
Are we sitting still so that we can?
Are you trying to pack up as many things with the Lord as possible? Are you trying to double lay things with the Lord as much as possible? Are you going, how much time do I have left? How much can I pack in of Christ and love and fellowship with God's people? And speaking his word.
And
we
sharing.
Don't think like that.
No.
Why do we immediately, with no hesitation, go, I'm going to pack up my day with as much as possible because this is the only amount of light I have?
Yeah.
When in reality, that whole mindset should be for the Lord.
Yes.
That whole mindset should be like, Lord, you have given me this amount of time and I know it's short. What can I pack in of you?
Yeah. What do you want of me? What do you want? Where's your will? What? Yeah, like maybe our to-do list.
Why?
Maybe our to-do list should say, okay, pray to God. 1. Pray to God. 2.
Doing the dishes, pray to God.
Yes, exactly. Like, it's like you should, because you sit there and you make a to-do list for your day. Or you're like, okay.
These are things that have to get done.
Yeah. Or you have to get done. Like, for me, I'm like, okay, from 2 to 4, Hudson's sleeping. I got to get all this stuff done, like, within that time. Or, but it's like, yeah, where have we, and we don't even, like, we let these distractions, for me, I'm like, I've let these distractions, all the things that I have to get done, all, for my day, let's just talk about one day of, like, I sit and all these distractions, I'm like, and it keeps me from experiencing the Lord because I'm just distracted. Like, because I'm not sitting there and I'm not, like, thinking about how can I serve you today, Lord? What do you want me to do for you today, Lord? Like, and so I don't experience him because even though I am, but that's because I've been so distracted because, y'all, the enemy is real. Like, if you're a Christian, listen, you better believe it, that he is real and out there, out to destroy you. Like, just talking about in Revelation, like, that's a real thing, and he will destroy us.
So we come on with the first thing, distraction.
Yeah.
Then the next chapter we had to do was about suffering. And the lady that spoke on suffering was like, yeah, our whole goal in life is to avoid suffering. And I went, what? And I went, yeah, you're right. So I'm trying to distract myself and avoid suffering. When that is the complete opposite of what the Lord has called us to.
Yes, and it's so funny because, man, y'all, the Lord is just so kind and merciful, and he loves us so much.
He's so gentle.
Yes, because, like, all of these things that we're talking about, like, there are so many, like, different things that people are saying right now and do, you know, like, that I'm like, it's all, like, this all comes to full circle. You know what I mean? Like, so you say that, and we were talking at our leadership meeting 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, and it's like, who suffered? Jesus suffered on the cross. You cannot go around the cross. Mm-mm. You have to go through the cross to get to, you know, like, which includes suffering. Like, because Jesus suffered for us, you know, like, so we can't just skip the suffering.
Yeah, listen, guys, Gladys Aylward, I know I keep coming back to this, but she had like 100 orphans in the inn that she was running with almost no food. So this wasn't like, oh, you did the right thing and things will thrive. No, the entire time she was there, she suffered. And then...
yeah, it was hard.
It was super hard. She had been there for like 25 years. She had like totally assimilated. She became a Chinese citizen. And she was at a prayer meeting one night and someone said to her, yeah, you know, we need to be sending missionaries to England. And she went, what? Yeah, we need to send them back. Nobody's worshiping God over there. She's like, what are you talking about? And she felt the Lord pulling her heart back to England because the people needed to hear about the Lord. And so she goes back. Now look, her purpose, her whole life has been China. Mm-hmm. She goes back to England to tell them what's happening in China, that people are dying for God's name in China. And she really doesn't know what she's doing there because now she doesn't have orphans.
Yeah.
She has plenty of food. She's not running the inn. She's like, what am I doing here? Mm-hmm. What am I doing here? And there were a couple of Chinese immigrants and that were coming to England at the time. And she said there were a couple of people that they wanted her to meet that were Chinese. And then she said, are there any Chinese people? Like, yeah, there's a few. We'll let you meet them later. She's like, there's one that you won't be worried about. You won't be able to see her. And she's like, okay, no biggie. That night, the Lord said, that lady they were talking about is why you're here.
Wow.
She goes to an insane asylum where this Chinese lady is being held. She comes out very frail, and the nurse says, I don't think this lady's crazy. There's something wrong, but I can't communicate with her. Come to find out that this Chinese lady had been wrongly accused, and some English person called her crazy. And they put her in an insane asylum, and she couldn't understand anything that anybody was saying.
Wow.
And so she said, I was looking for my son, and I can't write to my son. I don't know where he is, but I know he's here, and I can't find him. Mm. And she had been in that insane asylum for years, and she spoke to the lady in Mandarin and in Chinese, and she said, how can I help you? And she's like, I'm looking for my son. She was able to get that sweet old lady who had been suffering for so long out of that asylum.
Wow.
And if she had not lived in China and done what she had done, she would have not been able to save that lady. And that lady was just as important as the 100 orphans.
Yes.
And I'm going, but she was in England.
Yeah.
He had a mission for her in England, totally different from what she was doing. But because of the skill set that he had given her, she was able to still serve the king. Now, she still went back to China at some point, but I'm like, he brought her back for England for a few Chinese people.
Yeah.
And to spread, what the Lord was doing in China to all the English, to wake them up.
Yeah.
Your mission will not always be the same.
Right, yes.
It could just be a time for a mom or a friend or the crabby lady down the street.
Yeah.
But once again, what do? We're like, I just don't have enough time. Yeah, because I'm distracted.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't want to do that. The crabby old lady is the crabby old lady for a reason.
Yeah.
No one likes being with her. It's like, yeah, that's your job. That's your job.
Yeah.
As we continue talking about this, Carolyn, you can keep talking. But I found a couple of verses for you guys
Okay.
Yeah. There's a ton of verses on this, you guys. The Bible is very clear.
Yes. About serving, purpose.
About serving.
Okay.
And a lot of these serving and purpose.
And purpose go hand in hand.
Yeah. Proverbs 20:11. Even a child makes himself known by his acts, by whether his conduct is pure and upright. 1 John 3:18. Little children, let us not love in word or talk, but in deed and in truth. Be kind to one another. Ephesians 4:32. Be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, as God in Christ forgave you. Colossians 3:23. We've talked about this before. Whatever you do, work heartily as for the Lord and not for men.
Yeah.
James 2:18. But someone will say, you have faith and I have works. Show me your faith apart from your works, and I will show you my faith by my works. James 1:22. But be doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving yourselves.
I mean, the Lord says what? Love your neighbor. Love your neighbor. That's what he commands us to do. Of all things. Not go be the richest person out there. Make as much money as you can. You know.
Jeremiah 17:10 says, I, the Lord, search the heart and test the mind, to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruit of his deeds. What is the fruit of your deeds?
Yeah.
You are giving fruit. Or it might be sour fruit. You might be bearing no fruit at all.
Yeah.
Is your fruit ripe? Do we know? Can people see that in your life? Hold on. I have another verse.
This one's about purpose. Proverbs 19:21 says, many are the plans in a person's heart, but is it the Lord's purpose that prevails?
Bro.
Yeah, come on. This one too. 1 Corinthians 10:31. So whether you eat or drink or whatever you do, do it all for the glory of God. That's it, y'all. It's that simple. Come on. It's that simple. Look, that's a sentence. That is a sentence. That is not, you know what I mean? Like,
Matthew 6:24, guys. No one can serve two masters. For either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and money. Well, that's about money, but we're going to go. I'm looking for this one. It's up here. I'll just read it from here. Matthew 7:16 is the one I was looking for. By their fruit you will recognize them. Are grapes gathered from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? By their fruit you will recognize them. Do people... Oh, it just keeps repeating it. You can identify them by their fruit. That is, by the way they act.
Wow. Yeah, Philippians 2:13. For it is God who works in you to will and to act in order to fulfill his good purpose. And then in Matthew 6, but seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all things will be given. 6:33, Matthew 6:33.
We say that the law is
Did you read Matthew 5? Matthew 5:16. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. I mean, I don't know what else to tell y'all, but or myself.
I know, right?
Well.
Galatians 5:22-23. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness,
and self-control.
Self-control. Against such things there is no law. And also, I I could be wrong about this, but I think that's in Galatians. Long suffering.
Oh yeah, and then
What's the verse about suffering produces perseverance, and perseverance joy, and joy.
Yes, we just read this from Revelation. It is.
I'm gonna see if it's on my BS.
So 2 Timothy 3:17, so that the servant of God may be thoroughly equipped for every good work. So the Lord will give you what you need.
Okay.
So you don't have to stress or worry, oh, am I not good enough for this? Oh, will I not be able to do this? Oh, this is exhausting. The Lord will give you everything that you need to be able to do his will.
So this is Mark 34:38. Then he called the crowd to him along with his disciples and said, whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me. For whoever wants to save their life will lose it. Mm-hmm. But whoever loses their life for me and for the gospel will save it. What good is it for someone to gain the world yet forfeit their soul?
Wow. Yep. That's good.
If anyone is ashamed of me and my words in this adulterous and sinful generation, the Son of Man will be ashamed of them when he comes to his Father's glory with the holy angels.
Wow.
Hold on, I'm looking for one more verse, guys.
Yeah, did you find the...
I didn't find it. It's on day 4.
Yeah, I think so. It's all those ones right there.
Oh, okay. So Romans 3... Hold on. Romans 5:3-4. Not only so, but we also glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance, perseverance character, and character hope. We are not going to get those things unless we suffer. And I don't say go out and do something you hate. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying if the Lord has called you to something and it's irritating, it's not fun.
Yeah.
You probably still need to be doing it.
Yeah.
Because it's creating in you the person that he designed you to be.
Yeah, exactly.
And we know that suffering does not last forever. We know that.
Yeah.
But I'm going, we know if we have suffering in our own lives, how much more are people suffering around us?
Well, and we talked about it too in our BSF. It's like suffering is also testimony. Like,
yes,
you go, Jordan, you've been through a divorce. You have suffered, but you were able to go and bless another mom who's going through divorce.
Yeah.
You've been, and guess what? And we talked about it. It's like you can tell that mom or whoever that they're going to make it. Yeah. They're okay.
Yeah.
That you're standing, that you're right here. You are okay, you know? So you go through things and you go through sufferings to be able to share about the Lord and how the Lord has gotten you through it. The Lord is getting you through it. The Lord, whatever, to somebody who might literally just day one dealing with divorce, or a lady was like, I lost my mom and my husband within the same 4 months, and it's like, well, you get to go and share that and tell them that you're okay. Like, you have made it. Yeah. The Lord has gotten you through that suffering. But yeah, we go through suffering so that we can share with others and to help others too.
And a lot of times it's the suffering that you've experienced.
Yeah.
Like, the people that you're helping are the people that you're similar to. And a lot of times it's not that way.
Right.
But your compassion and your empathy changes as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, guys, I really don't know what to tell you.
I know.
It's so hard because I'm in a place now of like, I don't want to waste the time I have left.
Yeah.
I don't want to waste it. Like, I feel foolish because I'm 35 and I'm now starting to wake up to the people around me. and I feel awful about that. Also, we know, guys, like when you're in the middle of suffering, it's really hard to care about other people.
Yes.
Like we're not saying we have no
It's
clue
hard.
we have no clue where you are in your life.
Yeah.
If you're at a stable place or not. But when you get, a lot of the times it's when you're in a stable place.
You can start thinking clearly a
yes,
little bit,
yeah.
you know?
But when it's time to be challenged, have you picked up your head and looked around you at the people at your office? You know,
in the grocery store, at your home,
in your church.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there someone you've seen that, you know, and not even that, you don't have to search it out, guys. You just say, Lord, I am your servant. How can I serve you today?
Yeah.
What is your purpose for me today? Is there someone hurting? You know, the Lord brought Gladys Aylward all the way back from China to help this sweet woman get out of a insane asylum that she shouldn't have been in the first place.
Only because she spoke Chinese and was able to communicate with her.
Like, how insane is that? She was in an English prison, and she might have been in Ireland, so don't, if you guys check it out. It might have been Ireland. I can't remember. But
fact check.
That woman mattered to the Lord enough to bring Gladys back.
Yeah.
There are so many people like that, and you don't have to go anywhere.
Yep.
It's right here in your town.
Mm-hmm.
Who in your town is suffering? Who has pain? There is a lot of people with pain who need help. And it could be financially. Yeah. It could be physically with time.
And it could just be through prayer. Like, it doesn't have to be. Just ask somebody, how are you doing today?
Yeah.
How can I pray for you today? You know?
Someone you don't know, taking them to coffee. How are you doing? What's going on in your life?
Yeah, exactly.
Because I promise you they're not going to say, yeah, everything's great. Now, they might in the beginning.
And I was going to say, they might, but
the moment you spend time with someone and you actually care about their lives, the more they'll open up to you.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess I want to leave y'all with this. Pray and ask the Lord, what would you like? How can I serve you today, Lord? What is your purpose for me today? What is your will for me today? Just ask him. Just pray about it and ask him. And it might not be anything big, but if you get anything out of this, I would say just ask.
I have one more funny story to tell you. I was listening to Focus on the Family a long time ago, and it wasn't because I want to listen to it. I think my mom had it on. And there was this lady who said she had this really intimate relationship with the Lord. And she said, Lord, I'm a little down right now. I need you to show me something funny. And a clown car came around the corner. And she's like, well, it wasn't what I was expecting, but you answered my prayer. And so she had that kind of relationship with him. And she was in a airport one day waiting to get on her flight. And this man came up. This man in a wheelchair was pushed up near her across the room or whatever. And his hair was really messy and really gross and disheveled. And the Lord said, do you see that man over there? She said, yes, Lord. And she said, I need you to go brush his hair. And she said, Lord, there are people watching. I'm not going to go ask that man if I can brush his hair. I don't even have a brush. She said, I'm not doing it. He said, I've asked you to. So she got up in faith, went over to that man, and she said, can I brush your hair? And he burst into tears and he says, thank you. I have a brush in my bag. I haven't seen my wife. She's been in a daycare. She's been in a
nursing home.
In a nursing home for a really long time, and I'm getting ready to meet her. And he goes, and I want to look the best for her, and I feel so disheveled.
Oh, Lord.
And she sat there crying as she brushed this man's hair before he was getting ready to go see his wife that he hadn't seen in forever.
Jeez.
And it's like, it's that simple.
Yes.
Do you need to know the reason why? Would it feel better if you knew the reason why? Absolutely. You'd go, oh, Lord, of course I'll do that if I knew it.
Mm-hmm.
But are you being obedient?
Yes.
When it doesn't look like it's something you would want to do.
Yeah.
Because afterwards you're going, oh, I would have done it. If you'd known the reason, anybody in that place would have gone and done it. well, not anybody, but a lot of people would have gone and done it.
Yeah.
And what was he going to do? Ask a random stranger? The Lord knew his heart and that he needed that. So I just tell y'all, when you ask the Lord to open the door, don't be shocked at what it's going to be, because it's going to be for something very important.
And it's for him.
It's for the Lord.
Not for you. It's not what, it's for him. Be obedient.
We are called to worship and to serve one another.
Yeah.
And so I just leave y'all with knowing that it might not look what you think it's going to be.
Yeah. Might not be shiny.
It's not going to be going on a missions trip and putting in a well. It might be the crabby lady next door.
Yeah.
It might be that girl that you really have nothing in common with. Anyways, guys, if you get anything out of this podcast, make sure you like and subscribe. We drop a new episode every week. We'd love to hear from you guys in the comment section below. And if you guys just want somebody to talk to, you need some advice, you want us to just ramble on about your stuff.
That's right.
Send us an email at coffeechaosandchristpodcast@gmail.com. I'll leave that in the link in the description below as well. We'd love to hear from you guys. Carolyn, will you close this out?
Absolutely. All right, let's pray. Lord, I just want to say thank you for this day. Thank you for this time that we get to spend in your word and fellowship with each other. Lord, thank you for this topic today. Wow. Convicting, and we're able to see and hear what you have for us, which is amazing. And even if we don't, we're growing closer to you, and we're understanding what you want for us, which is amazing. So, Lord, I just ask that today, as we go through our day, that we are asking, what do you have for us? Where do you want us to serve? Where do you want us to love on people? What is your will for us today? And if we can do that often, I pray that you will allow us to think about you constantly throughout the day. If we're thinking about you, then you're always on our mind, and then we'll be able to help and serve others that we come across. So, Lord, whatever that may be, I pray that we can do that with a loving and obedient heart, because it might not look shiny. It might not be something that we want to do, but I pray that we can just die to self, let our flesh die, because this is for you and it's for your glory, Lord. And just that we will be obedient and that we can go and do it. And Lord, I'm just thankful. We trust you and we love you so much. In your precious name we pray. Amen.